They're great time-saving devices, enabling us all to get back to YouTube. They enable youngsters to survive whenever mum is late from work. They're a great way to cook food if you like the centre of your food to be nuclear hot while the outside remains room temperature. They almost never get cleaned properly. Hashtag one for the bachelors. What am I talking about? The microwave, of course. I mean, you should remember you clicked on the thumbnail. We almost all have one in our homes, but did you know the invention stemmed from a complete accidental discovery? Plus, watch to the end of the video to find out why their name is totally unscientific and inaccurate. And plus, watch to the end of the video to find out what that white box in your kitchen has to do with World War II. Again, just a reminder, I'm talking about microwaves, for those of you with a terrible memory. I'll just add that this channel is inclusive of all, even those with poor memories. So how exactly were microwaves discovered? Well, completely by accident is the answer. End of video. Actually, you probably want a bit more detail than that. So they were the result of a happy accident, and on the receiving end of that happy accident was a man named Percy Spencer, who took that happy accident and turned it into science. So Percy was an inventor and inclined to investigate something very strange that happened in his trouser pocket. While Percy was building magnetrons for radar sets, more on this later, he noticed a peanut chocolate bar in his pocket started to melt, and melt a lot more than to be expected. Actually, it turns out that the work he was undertaking emitted microwaves, and although at the time it was unknown, the waves were perfect for heating up and exciting fat and water molecules. At the time, Percy was working on the cavity magnetron, and his devices allowed for a far more compact, powerful and sensitive radar unit to be produced during World War II, which gave the Allies an important technological advantage over designs used by opposing forces. Anyway, back to microwaves. So when he noticed this melting effect of the chocolate in his pocket, Percy set about isolating this type of wave and using it with other foodstuffs, including popcorn and eggs. In fact, some of his first experiments with eggs literally exploded. I mean, you could say perhaps he had egg on his face. Yes, maybe he did literally, but not metaphorically speaking, because he just made a major scientific discovery. And microwaves would be available for commercial and domestic use around 10 years after World War II. But the name micro implies a certain kind of measurement that in physics refers to 10 to the minus 6 or 1/1,000,000th of a metre, and so when we say micro it has a very specific meaning. Although the strange thing is that if you were to look at actual microwaves, then these fall into the infrared portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. And ironically, it's a convection or conventional oven that uses infrared. Infrared is really just another word for heat waves, and these are, in a sense, microwaves because they're waves that are in the order of 1/1,000,000th of a metre. So strangely, it's actually normal ovens that in practice use microwaves. So what about actual microwaves? Well, a microwave uses waves that have a wavelength of around 12 centimeters. Microwaves use a subcategory of radio waves. In fact, before microwaves were discovered by Percy, they weren't on the electromagnetic spectrum, of course. So with a microwave using wavelengths in order of 12 centimeters, perhaps they should have been called centimeter ovens? And maybe your actual oven should have been called a microwave.